How do you source, where do you source, and how do you do it best? We're gonna answer those questions with the 5 levels of sourcing that are very easy to understand, so let's dive in. And I have notes because I think we've gotten this down to a bit of a science with the different levels of sourcing that help you grow your business. So we gotta start with level 1, and this is still one of my favorite levels to source in. I absolutely love it, and that is garage sales and thrift stores. Now, the key things to note here are that capital may be a factor. So if your cash flow is limited, this is a great place to source. You can get low dollar items that can sell for big profit. The opportunity is everywhere. I mean, you can go like to any garage sale if you have those in your area, but also any, I would even say like flea markets can kind of be in this area too. So swap meets, a lot of people have those in their area. Just a place where you can go get a lot of different things for a low price, sell them quickly, and keep that cash flow rolling. The goal, if you want to grow your business, is to move up the levels of sourcing because it enables new opportunities. So in level 1, this might be the area where you have $10 to $100 of cash ready to go. You know, we did a couple iterations of the $10 business, starting with that much and working our way up. We operated in level 1 of sourcing almost exclusively in both of those series on the main channel and on this channel. So 10 to 100 bucks here, and another keynote is this is a time to start making connections. And that brings us to level 2, which a keynote here, your cash flow is getting a little bit stronger. You know, you might have 100 to 1,000 bucks in extra cash to be able to spend on inventory for your business. Level 2, primarily the places to source are pawn shops, maybe a little retail arbitrage, clearance deals at Walmart, stuff like that. Local auctions and storage units. So those might require a little bit more cash, but still local. And on level 2, a lot of times you got to spend more to make lower margins, but this is where your profit dollars per item might start to increase. An example would be at a pawn shop. You buy a special edition PS4 for 150 bucks because they flat price them all at 150 bucks. This is a special edition that goes for 300 bucks after fees, 240, but you still walk out with $90 in profit on that item. It just took more profit dollar or spending to get those profit dollars, if that makes sense. But again, still a key focus here is making connections. So when you're going to these pawn shops, when you're going to the auctions, when you're going to storage auctions, like have business cards, tell people what you're doing, try to make yourself unique so that you can work your way up the levels of sourcing. This was something that I did, and is something that I still do all the time in my business, is just making the connections locally so that, you know, when these people find stuff or these stores get stuff in, they're reaching out. I have Frankie, who has a shop, who will text me when they get in a nice video game collection. Harvey has a pawn shop. You know, Lou has the game store, and these are people that, you know, I've really tried to connect with and treat them well so that they'll return the favor and we can have a great business relationship. But before we get to level 3, very common questions we get about level 1 and 2 of sourcing is, how do you find the garage sales? How do you find the right shops? How do you find all these things? Garage sales, the best ways today to do this, Facebook Marketplace, even though the UI of it sucks, it's still going to be the place where most people post their garage sales. But really with Facebook, you gotta like hit the like or the thumbs up on the community garage sales, on the neighborhood garage sales, and then pay very close attention to what they suggest, and make sure you like every neighborhood garage sale within 2 hours of you, and like them and know and be notified when they're happening. And then, you know, map those things out when the time comes. You want to go to neighborhood garage sales. As many as you can hit in a short period of time is always the way to go for success. But also flea markets, make sure you know all the ones in your area. Go to them on big days. If they have 4th of July or events where, you know, vendors are free and they have a bunch of vendors, go make sure to have those days bookmarked and go on those days. But then for level 2, which is pawn shops and retail arbitrage, make some routes. So for me, I've got like my Fort Wayne, Indiana route, which is south of us. As we're in Michigan, like I know, okay, here's the 4 Cash America pawn shops. There's usually good deals here. Here's the Disc Traders store, the video game store, and here's a couple other shops, and map them out the most efficient way. There's apps that do this, but you got to hit the shops, like all of the shops in the area, and then kind of narrow it down to the ones that you know work best, that you can maybe make a monthly route to, and have that. So it's very common questions that we get. These are the methods that I've used, that I still use, and it definitely helps to be efficient with your time and your routes to be able to maximize.
But before we go any further, all of these levels of sourcing come with a new need for efficiency. We're always adapting things in our business that can make us more efficient, and with the power of 3D printing, we're able to always make small improvements to our business. We have the new A1 and A1 mini printers from Bamboo Lab, and they've been a game changer for the business. If you want a beast of a 3D printer at an entry-level price, the value here can't be beat.
It can't. The deal is great. Like, these are the best printers I've ever used.
The need for little solutions in our business can almost instantly be addressed with a 3D print that doesn't take long to print at all. The printers calibrate by themselves, which is another great feature if you're new to 3D printing. That means there's no need for manual adjustments. It's equipped with advanced active flow control and vibration compensation algorithms as well, which pretty much means it's super precise and smooth. It allows the printer to maintain fast speeds as well.
Truly, these printers are great because you don't have to level them. Like, they do it themselves. I've had printers that just don't work, and you level it, and you level it, and you level it, and you got to keep fiddling with it. With these, it saves so much time.
If you ever need color coding for your systems and operations, or you want something to stand out, you can get the AMS to print in multiple colors, another great value add considering the price. But here's a few things we've done to improve our workspaces. We printed these trash can holders, funny enough. We constantly are using these poly bags, and when we're using our stand-up desks, the little adhesive tab on these bags always flutters around the trash can, never inside. So with these, we can actually slam dunk them into the trash can every time. We were also losing our shipping labels, so we printed this really nice, simple piece that can pinch shipping labels in a very easy and accessible way. We have our disc cleaning machines, and we have to keep track of them when they need replacement parts. We have this whiteboard, and the marker was always falling off the top of the whiteboard, so we printed a handy marker holder to hold multiple of them. But one of the biggest things we printed was for our live auctions. We've had a hard time showing off all of our small items that we sell, so Matt designed a massive stand to hold cartridges and really anything we need in a super sturdy way. These improvements we've made are somewhat small, but every day we try to get 1% better in our business, and having these printers has certainly helped things. But for a deal on the A1 or A1 Mini, check out our link in the description for more information on these printers and their deal. Thank you to Bamboo Lab for sponsoring. Now back to it.
But level 3 of sourcing, this is where it gets interesting, and this is the level that I got to about 8 years ago when I went full-time. So level 3, making connections all along the way on level 1 and 2, and still operating in level 1 and 2. Usually you can operate in all 5 levels if you get to all 5. But level 3 is pursuing collection buys and store buyouts in your area. That's when it gets really interesting, when the time that it takes to source inventory is dramatically reduced. So if somebody that you've connected with offers a big collection, you know, I've got Brad from Brad's Toy Barn that I've spent thousands of dollars with. Michael Cash is another one. You've seen him on the channel countless times. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars with him over the years. He finds video games. I pay well. We have a great relationship. We're buddies now. Alfredo's another guy in my area who I've connected with. I used to not like him at all because he would go to garage sales and beat me to the games. He was really good at making great routes. We always had the same routes, and he was quick and good. And I didn't talk to him for years, which is a bummer because when I did talk to him, I realized he's a great guy and we could actually have a business relationship, and there's a lot of stuff that I could buy from him profitably. So making connections with these people and then doing the big buyouts, I mean, you think about it, logically, that like maximizes your time, because if you get a, you know, this is where your cash flow maybe 1,000 to 10,000 in that range. You know, you get a $5,000 collection that's worth $10,000. Your entire like month of sourcing might be taken care of, or whatever it looks like for you at this level. $5,000 in profit in a month is a fabulous month. So like getting a buy like that is a game changer for your business, and it enables you to spend more time on selling than on buying. So that's a key difference. Cash flow is a little higher, big purchases can happen, and it's very important to do deals with integrity. Find ways to stand out. Pay more than people expect when possible is a huge one. So if you get a great buy, $2,000, you're like, man, I'm gonna make $6,000 on this. How much would it say to give them another $1,000 or whatever after things are said and done? They're gonna sell to you, they're gonna tell more people about it, your business is gonna grow, they're gonna be blessed, you're gonna be blessed, and it's gonna be a great way to operate. So just always have that mindset for long-term growth instead of short-term growth. Like I've been on both ends of that spectrum. I've paid as little as possible to keep my margins as high as possible. but that's like a very short-term growth mindset and really isn't the best way to treat people. So it just works out better for everybody to pay as much as you can when you can, and it's a great way to do business. This brings us to level 4 of sourcing, and this is where things can get really interesting. So this is sourcing online to save time. So places like eBay, like Shop Goodwill, local auction houses where you have to buy stuff online, any way to source online to save time. So scaling is the focus here. This is a great way for your sales to increase dramatically, but your margins also could decrease dramatically. The ultimate goal is for profit dollars to still increase regardless of diminishing margins. So we have many people in our Discord that operate at this level. I know Nerd Nation is one that spends a lot of time in this level. We have multiple other users that really enjoy the efficient sourcing of online. I don't love this level. I certainly see the potential. I think a lot of the biggest, used video game sellers in the world spend most of their time sourcing at this level because it's the most scalable. So if there's people that have like 50 employees, 20 employees that are dedicated to selling on Amazon, and the way that they have to get so much inventory to keep this thing going. So like sourcing online is just going to make the most sense for them. There's not going to be that many local deals or collections in theory that are constantly coming. So level 4, a great place to source to save time and scale, but the margins almost always decrease compared to levels 1 through 3. But also one more point on level 4, if levels 1, 2, and 3, like the local hustle, is not really much of an option for you, there's too much competition, or there's not much opportunity, you live in the middle of nowhere, whatever it is, this is a factor. Level 4 is where your business can thrive, and this is where some of the people in our Discord that are operating level 4 of sourcing, that's just what they kind of have to do, but they've become experts at it and have grown real businesses with 6 figures in sales and are absolutely killing it on this level. So the opportunity is huge, and this is another, don't fall into that victim mindset, because opportunity is everywhere, and literally, if you have access to the internet and shipping, like level 4, you can have a business that thrives if you're willing to put in the work. And level 5, collections from around the country and even the world come to your doorstep. Store buyout opportunities come to you as well. And this is where it is harder to operate in this level. It takes a long time of doing business with integrity, and you have to have a lot of cash flow. So cash flow is very high. You have to be the person that says, yep, I'm ready to buy. If you don't, a lot of times you're cut off from whoever offered that opportunity or collection. So that's important to have very high cash flow in this level. Either a store or an online presence where people can contact you to sell things. And there might be something that I'm missing here to get to level 5. Those are the 2 main methods that I see, at least within the video game niche, that I think are huge, because people have to know about you somehow. So, the greatest game store in St. Louis, Retro Game Rescue, No Game Left Behind, they've got a store where literally they buy any video games collections as much as they possibly can that come in the door. They're always interested in that, and since they have a store where people can go and sell things, they're operating level 5 of sourcing, because this is you don't have to seek it out, it just comes to you. And that's kind of the point of it. So this can be done through Instagram, it can be done through YouTube, and I remember a few years ago, Columbus Sean is what I call him. Sean, if you're still watching, shout out to you. He was my first big collection. He was from Columbus, Ohio. Really awesome guy. I think the collection costed maybe $8,000, which was just a massive deal. All the money that I had for collections to buy, and it was terrifying because I had never done anything like it. But he had a beautiful collection of boxed Nintendo games, Super Nintendo, GameCube, consoles, games, all the things. And this deal happened because he saw one of our videos and reached out and said, hey, do you buy collections? I have this collection, I need to get rid of it. I think he was moving, so we went down there, met him, bought it, and it ended up being absolutely phenomenal. So that was kind of the first experience for me operating in level 5, and that stuff is what really changed the business. So at that time, I don't think I had any employees, but that was pretty easy to see, whoa, this is this is crazy. Like, you know, I made one trip and the entire month is good to go as far as sourcing goes. So maybe I could start bringing on some people to help me do this thing and to grow the videos. And so that's kind of where, like, Chase After the Right Price, the channel, started getting better because Brother Dave came on, started editing. I always edited pretty terribly in the early videos. They're still fun, all right, but the edits aren't very good. But that's not what I do.
I'll give you a thumbs up.
Thanks. We grew something to the ability to have Columbus, Sean, Sia, and others. So thank you if you're an OG. Really, really appreciate you guys coming along for the journey. But like level 5 of sourcing, guys, is where it gets very interesting. You know, buy list is something that we have at this level. And that's almost like 5-2 because that's like we set it and forget it, and then games are sent. Like we didn't have to do any communication there. It's just like the buy list exists on its own, and then games are sent, and we pay. So it's
5.5.
yeah, it's almost like an extended form of that level. I think there's almost a level 6 that kind of exists. And this is one that I don't know if we'll ever get there, but basically where you're the one that creates the platform or the way for things to be purchased by somebody else, and you just take a cut. So there's some people that are doing stuff like that, and I think that's really amazing. But like if you have a platform where people just operate within it and you take your cut, then that's beyond that. I don't have any plans for that in our future, but I just think that's really cool that people are doing that successfully. So here's all 5 levels again, but there's one more tidbit to know after I go over the 5 levels. Level 1 is garage sales and thrift stores where capital cash flow is a factor. Level 2, pawn shops and retail arbitrage, local auctions, storage units, a little bit more cash flow you have here to buy inventory. Level 3, pursuing collection buys and store buyouts in your areas. You got to have some cash here. You've made some connections on level 1 and 2. Level 4, sourcing online to save time. And if you don't have opportunity in level 1 through 3, level 4 is a great way to get inventory. And then level 5, collections from around the country and even the world come to your doorstep, whether it's a physical store or an online presence. Store buyout opportunities also come to you. So the deals come to you. But the key thing to note here is that at any one of these 5 levels, you can have a real full-time business. There's many businesses that are operating at a full-time basis, making a great living, going to garage sales and thrift stores. That still exists. A lot of people might doubt this, but there are a lot. And I actually personally had my first 6-figure year of sales at level 1 and 2 of sourcing senior year of high school with the part-time business that I was doing. That's not profit, that's sales. So profit was considerably less than that. But like it is absolutely possible at those levels. I think level 3 is the safest way, where like you've been obsessed with local connections, you've grown those connections. But you can do this at whatever level you're at and succeed. I think you should know in the comments, like I said, which level you're at, which one you want to get to, and why. Because I think the level that you're at should match the goals that you have for your business and your life. I love talking about this stuff, so let me know down below what level you're at. And we have a new Discord eBay challenge coming up, so if you want accountability from some high-level sellers, consider joining the Discord. We'll have that linked down below. We'd love to have you if you want to grow your business, put in the work to connect with people, and do those things to grow.